You told me when you went up to 154 that the time before Tim lost to Fundora, Tim Tsyzu, he was probably a guy that you're looking at. You know, good name, coming from Australia, whole country behind him. The loss over the cut, like, you know, the cut was one of the big reasons, but over the loss to Fundora, that sort of ruined it. But there was a chance you were looking, he was on your radar.
I tried to fight Tim Tsyzu before he fought Fundora.
Yeah.
You know, and they basically was like, nah, they want to go the Fundora route, you know, being that Tim was with PBC.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
Know,
yeah,
so they like, man, he not about to do this to us again.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he just beat Smith. So basically they talked him out of it and whatnot. So Fundora get the victory. He got 2 titles. All right, cool. I want to fight Fundora.
PBC again.
They said no. They said, you know what I mean? His handler said, nah, we want to fight Spence. Spence is a bigger fight than you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Spence is a bigger fight than me. I just beat him, but okay. Cool, y'all don't want to fight me. I'm going to fight the #1 guy in the division, which was Majimov. That's how me and Majimov got to fight. You know, so me and Majimov fight. Prior to that, you know, when I was at 147, I was already calling out Canelo. I was already saying I'll move up 3 weight classes and fight Canelo. You know, when me and Turkey went to watch him fight, dang, he put it on. What's the dude's name? From New York.
Belanga.
Belanga.
Yeah.
We watched him fight Belanga, and I said, he can't beat me. Can't beat me. Then we went to the UFC fight. And that's when they was calling me Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it was like, man, this dude can't beat me.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, man, get a fight at 160 or 168 before you go in there and fight him. I said, I don't need no fights. I said, he can't beat me. And so they was like, all right, well, what you want to do? I said, I want to fight Canelo. So they was like, he ain't going to fight you right now. He don't got nothing to prove. All right. So I was like, all right, I'll take a fight. We're going to make history. We're going to be a 4-weight division champion. I fought Majimov, boom. Got that fight out the way. All right, now what you want to do? I want to fight Canelo. Sure you want to fight Canelo? Sure, I want to fight Canelo. Okay, it's a tough fight, but I'm going to do it for you. All right, we sign up, fight Canelo. Now we beat Canelo. Now what's left? Nothing.
Nah, I was saying that in the car. It was not.
At first I was like, all right, well, go down to 160 and do it again.
Become 6 times.
Yeah, and four division undisputed.
Yeah.
But Janibek popped.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
was that a possible fight if he did it, or was that one because he would have beat Lara and had 3 belts?
Whoever would have won that fight would have been 3. They would have had 3 of the titles.
Has that ruined it then? That test.
Yeah. So it's just like, and I'm not.
That's it now.
You know,
Yeah. Nah.
It's cool. It just was a thought. It's like, do it again. You can do it again. You know, go down to 160 and, you know, dare to be great and fight for something that's meaningful instead of just, you know, even though their names wasn't, you know, the biggest. Janibek is a dangerous challenge.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that's what we do it for.
Yeah.
You know, I knew going over there, fighting Janibek, you know, people would have been tuning in to that type of fight, especially if he would have, you know, somehow beat Carlos Adames. And now he's undisputed. Now you got undisputed versus undisputed.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen. So I was just like, man, you know what? This is God telling me you ain't got nothing left to prove.
Chris, your one?
It's a good segue into the question I want to ask. If there was one fighter that you could fight that you didn't fight, who would it be? Who was it?
There was one fighter that
You wanted to fight, but you weren't able to.
Pacquiao, for sure. 1,000%.
That little Filipino kid.
For sure. And I try to fight Pacquiao.
George's bestie. George's bestie. Yeah. Full respect. But Skinny Hussein knocked him out for 20 seconds, mate. YouTube, Hussein versus Pacquiao.
Pacquiao, for sure. You know, that was a fight that I was chasing for years, since I was 140 pounds. you know, and to see him, you know, fight Broner, Tim Bradley, you know, Keith Thurman and all those
Chris Algieri.
fight. Yeah, man, I was
No
just
disrespect
like,
to Chris.
I was like, man, like, what is going on? Like, these guys is not, you know, like I'm here and he's fighting these guys. I just couldn't understand it, you know. So if there was a guy that, you know, it would be him. And Danny Garcia. That's my
Oh,
boy.
you fought him as amateur, yeah?
Yeah,
Swift.
We split.
Left hook.
We split 1-1. I think me and Danny would have made for a great fight, you know, being that we knew each other real
Yeah.
well.
He's a nice guy, Danny?
Yeah, that's
From Philly? He looks like a nice guy.
yeah. Man, we grew up JOs,
In the amateurs,
in the silver gloves, you know what I mean? So I just think, you know, if anyone that I came up in the amateurs with, you know, it would have been him. That would have
cool.
made for a great fight.
Cool. George, yeah. Oh,
Do
sorry.
you fight Pacquiao Southpaw or Orthodox?
Both. If I had something to say to the young fellas, you know, when you in here in sparring, ain't no winning in sparring. You know, a lot of fighters, they always talk about sparring. You know, oh, I did this to you in sparring, or I got the best of you in sparring. You know, if you in here sparring, you supposed to be working on getting better. There was times where I just worked on my jab in sparring. There was times that I just worked on, you know, countering, you know, or coming forward or stepping to the right, you know, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, that way when you get in a fight and you need something, you know, you got it in your bag. That's why you see a lot of fighters nowadays, they just one-dimensional.
Yeah.
You know, you see a fighter, he's coming forward all the time. He don't like when you push him back, he don't know how to react.
Yeah, he hasn't worked on that.
You know,
aspect
when you make
of
a
his
fighter,
game.
when you make a fighter go to his right, he's so used to going to his left, he don't know how to react. Or when the fighter can't land his best shot, you know, he don't have no you know, second shot that he likes to throw. So, you know, I would just tell y'all, you know, work on everything, you know, and when you get in the ring and you start sparring, work on things that you don't like to do. You know, get comfortable doing things that you don't like to do and try things. You know, everybody come and spar and they do the same thing over and over and over. And then they wonder why they don't get better.
That's right.
You know, or they fight the same way. That works on this level, but when you get to the elite level, you're gonna have to pull everything out.